How do you do, world? Welcome to the Pinfall podcast. I am your host, Liz. I'm joined by my co-host, Mark. What is apparently our last Wednesday NXT podcast?
Indefinitely. Who knows if we'll be back to Wednesday.
You know, it's about as clear as a Pompeii.
Welcome, Mike.
Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens.
I don't know. I'm talking about like a volcano, ash in the sky. We don't know what's going on. Apparently, NXT is switching to Tuesday. We're still doing NXT podcast, just in case that was a misconstrued. But next week they're doing Tuesdays, and then USA had an ad saying, "Join us at NXT on their new time of Tuesday, 8 p.m." But you read an article that said that it might just be for September.
Yeah. Sport Speak or something. I forget the name of it. Also, Hi Splucha. They said that NXT was moving to Tuesdays for the NHL playoffs. But like Mike said, it's hard to predict how long these go.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch hockey, but not pardon, not nearly as in depth as someone who might know how long the playoff season goes until. If I'm not mistaken, I think it goes till October. So, that's fine. Wasn't tiring doing the SmackDown and then TakeOver and then SummerSlam and then Raw. It wasn't exhausting at all, so it'll be fine.
Also, thank you for the follow, Leonardo Hearn. 4.
Not the third, not the second, not the first, but the fourth. So much like last night's Raw, I last night. See, this is what 4 days of podcast looks like. I felt like tonight didn't have much of a set script in a very strange way. Things feel very weird. But we can get into that after if you're interested in this, Marcus. We could go on to the news.
I mean, when have I ever been interested in going to the news?
Literally never.
Yeah, so let's go into the promos and matches.
I work so hard.
I have a bit of news. I think I told you about it. I don't know if you added
I think it might be my first bit of news.
Okay.
So help me God if you utter it before I put up the news sign. I'm replacing you with the cat.
So Breezango's leaving NXT.
Imagine, where the hell would they go?
AEW.
Okay, that's not a funny joke. That's a mean joke. Would you like to lead off with our first piece of news, Marcus? Honorary newscaster Marcus?
You want me to lead it off?
Mostly because I think you're going to remember more details of this piece of news than I will off the top of my head.
Well, I don't know if it's the one I'm thinking of, but I'm just going to say...
Well, there's a good chance that it's in there.
So I'm just going to lead off and say that Drew McIntyre said that he knows who is getting a huge push in Raw right now. And that person is Aleister Black. Drew McIntyre, the pseudo-child of Vince McMahon, the son he wishes he had, son he's never had.
Triple H probably comes first because Triple H has cloudy morals. So.
I mean, yeah. But, yeah. Apparently Aleister Black is going to be getting a huge push which makes sense given that he just kind of made a return. He's getting a whole new gimmick. Doesn't seem much different from his last one, but we'll see how time changes and shows things.
So funny enough, that was actually not a single piece of news that I had. I genuinely thought the first thing I'll lead off with, you'll know what I was thinking of. But it's kind of interesting because like the whole thing that kind of like made people angry with how Aleister Black was treated these past X number of months. I don't know. Time's irrelevant nowadays. Was that he was on like the cusp of having like he had just like. I don't know how to put this. He had gotten a massive push. He was doing really well, and then I think it was around the time that Paul Heyman left that like he started getting lumped in with like Ray and Humberto. That it was like everyone was like, "Wait, what?" It's like you were driving us to Disney World, and then you just stopped at Virginia Beach. Thanks. Actually, Virginia Beach isn't that bad. I may as well have said the Atlantic. At the boardwalk. What's the thing in Atlantic City? Woof. For something that's a couple of hours away, oh boy, okay. Oh no, we're not going to be okay, are we? All right, same. So it is kind of weird that all of a sudden, like Vince is like, "Yeah, no, don't worry, it's still scheduled. We're still doing that." I'm not sad about it. I'd like to see a segment. Even I'll even take a promo with him saying more than like 10 words.
Yeah,
very small things.
I hope it's kind of closer to his original gimmick of how, you know, like he was a fallen angel type thing.
I think based on like how he was promoting it himself on his social media, I think this is almost like the second chapter of that story for him.
Okay.
Which, when he explained the story, it was happening within like a very like 5-second span of time. I don't know how there's a second chapter, but...
And that makes sense if he's the fallen angel and the person that he hates is the Messiah.
Oh, see, my brain connected with like his whole thing was being, well, I don't know religion that well. The one angel that fell from heaven or whatever.
Fell from heaven?
I don't know. I think he was like supposed to be like, I don't know. It was like, I don't know anything about religion. I watched a video once where he was getting a tattoo and talking about this stuff, but like the whole point was that he was cast out of heaven. Like his character was cast out of heaven. Like he was the
Satan.
Was he Satan?
Yeah.
Is that the vibe?
Yeah, because Aleister said that like he's he like kind of looks at Satan in a different light. That he's not just this general evil character, but rather an angel that was, you know, thrown out.
Yeah. Like his whole thing was like, I guess in a sense, like God or Jesus, one of those was supposed to be his father, and like a father figure. How's that? And like he was cast out, and he was like, "Well, this sucks. Like I'm hurt and I'm mad." And it was like the split second between deciding to be either hurt forever or mad forever. If he's mad forever now, then that makes sense why he's just nasty to literally everyone. So.
I gotta read these comments from Mike. He said, Lucifer was cast out from heaven by my boy Saint Michael the Archangel and became the devil or whatever. Saint Michael gets booked strong.
I have been to church a few times, and I did not realize that there was a difference between, I think, Jesus and God, right?
Yeah. Don't forget the Holy Spirit.
I didn't realize there was... Sure, that one too. I didn't realize there was a difference between Jesus and God until I met Mark, because his family used to go to church or still goes to church.
They go to online church now.
Hell yeah. Zoom Church. The Church of the Holy Zoom.
It's like the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome of the Holy Spirit, baby.
Kane just walks in.
Yeah, you know what? Probably, honestly. I went to preschool in a church, though.
Me too.
And yeah, I went to preschool in church, and every once in a while, like the people that ran the preschool also helped out at the church. So every once in a while, they'd have to do like an errand up there. So they take my group of like 5-year-olds. We'd all go up to the church, and I was like, haha, why is there these books? And why are there things that you can kneel upon? This is a much larger room than any other place in this preschool.
Also, I love how this one news story has taken us 20 minutes in. So,
another news story is I got this gin for per my friend's suggestion, and it turns like a pinky purple color when I put lemon juice in it. So that's fun. I also don't have hard seltzer. That's why it's such a big glass. Anywho, shall I get into the other part of the news section?
yes.
All right, so this is the part I thought you were going to mention. So I guess the members of Retribution have sort of, kind of, maybe, been revealed, or at least the five or six, I think, that were posing after Raw. I'm going to try to remember all the names. I think I've got them all. One is suggested to be Kaden Carter. One is suggested to be Mia Yim. Another, that I can almost definitely see, is Dominic Dijakovic. Then another one is Dio Madden. One is Shane Thorne, and one is Chelsea Green. Now, the only confusion here is just that we've seen Mia Yim, we've seen Kaden Carter recently, we've kind of seen Dominic Dijakovic recently. I understand with Shane and Dio Madden and Chelsea Green, because we haven't seen them in a minute. But
I saw a comment that said that it's very possible these are all just placeholder people, which makes sense given that there's like so many members that we've seen so far. But they did pose in a way on Raw that made it seem like those ones are a little more important, but still, I especially if it's like Kaden Carter, Shane Thorne, you know, like kind of smaller NXT people, I would definitely expect them to just be placeholders. I fully expect that we won't actually see any members of Retribution unmasked. I think we'll just see the leader of Retribution, and then he'll have his members, you know, carry out what he wants.
you get the vibe in a weird way that, like, people that are writing this storyline don't actually know where to take it yet.
Oh, absolutely. That's why it's been on
Okay.
both Raw and SmackDown, because they don't know who's going to lead it yet.
Because, like, I feel like we've constantly, like, seen them just kind of destroying both of the main roster brands, but not really targeting anybody specific, because they've been targeting faces, they've been targeting heels.
They've been targeting whole locker rooms, the commentators, the
Refs.
the truck. They hate WWE as a whole.
It was, like, kind of cool when it was first announced, and they were like, there's a new faction. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, new faction? This is gonna be rocking. And now we're a couple weeks removed from that announcement. I'm like,
I think it's because they've just taken too long to, like, progress any of it.
it's sort of like when your friend has a bit and they just keep doing it. Like, the first time you're like, oh, this is funny. And then, like, they do it 40,000 times in 2 weeks, and you're like,
But it's like the
there's no way I can
same
stop being
bit.
friends with you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Anyways. I'm gonna go through this part quickly. Apparently, Sonya Deville has received more threats from other men ever since the attempted kidnapping, because Sometimes people are horrible.
You know,
I saw that headline. I was just like,
given simps and how they are, I think this is completely expected. You know, I've seen comments on like live threads and stuff that basically make out the stalker to be a good guy or a victim. But on a lighter note, I just want to respond to something DG Games said. He said, "Who's ready for Roman to Superman punch all of the members of Retribution?" And I just want to say that's not going to happen because Roman will be leading Retribution.
that'd be cool as hell.
Yeah, except it would look super dumb because his Superman punch looks so bad.
Wait, imagine all of the members of Retribution, Superman punching a bunch of other people that are not members of Retribution. Cringe level.
They all just copy Roman's moves.
I love Roman Reigns. I feel like that's like cheesy opinion to have. I don't know. I know like a lot of people who watch WWE are like, I hate Roman Reigns. He's awful. I can't stand him. And I'm like, I don't know. I got a little soft spot for him. And it's not just because he's hot. Okay. Also, welcome back to DG Games. Thank you for joining us again.
Mike called me a heel with glimpses of goodness, which I think is the best kind of heel you can have.
What should you do this early in the podcast to be called a heel, though?
I think I'm just by default a heel, but
That's
he
fair.
liked that I said simps, so that's a glimpse of goodness. Yeah, Mike just confirmed it's my default, which I'm fine with.
You like my Corey Graves?
What? No, Corey Graves just sides with the heels. I don't side with the heels. You side. So you're Corey Graves. You side with the heels. Yeah, I'll get some tats. I'll get like a full arm sleeve like Roman's, but only one.
Either die a Tom Phillips or you live long enough to see yourself become a Corey Graves.
And then you become JBL.
I don't ascend to Renee Young at some point in this life. It wasn't worth it. It simply wasn't anything worth it. I love getting a notification from 3 hours ago that my text didn't send. By the way.
So do you want to move on to the next segment? Because we're a half hour in right now.
Oh my god, fine.
If you have one more news story, we can.
I have many more news stories actually.
I don't know if we can get through all of them. That's the problem.
Well, we're gonna go fast, I guess.
Just lightning round.
So first things first, Bray Wyatt had a message for Goldberg. If you could understand it, let me know, because I don't get it, and I don't really feel like spending 5 years decoding it.
Also, I haven't seen anyone reporting on this, so weird. I don't know if there is anything behind it or not, but
well, to be fair, this piece of news I think either came from Cultaholic or Wrestle Talk, so somebody is reporting on it.
Because I know I showed you the tweet.
Right. And in addition to that, I mean, obviously that just means Goldberg's coming back. That's not shocking in any form. It's just exciting. Mickie James's horrible booking as of late might be a shot at Nick Aldis, who is, I think it's her husband. It's either her husband or her boyfriend. I don't really know. I didn't look this far into the story. Who kind of has bad blood with Chris Pritchard. And not always the best person to have bad blood with when your wife is on Raw. Connection. This is writing your goddamn story, more or less. So it's been potential, and if it is, I like, why would you intentionally write one of your stars to be horrible when, your ratings are trash? I mean, I'm a petty bitch. I'm not that petty.
Hmm.
Then apparently somebody in the Thunderdome at SummerSlam had videos or propaganda or some imagery of a KKK rally.
That was
On their video.
Monday. That was
Yeah.
Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, mother. Well, WWE is trying to find that person so they can suspend them.
I thought they already banned them.
Well, last I heard they were trying to. But apparently if you hold a Fire Velveteen Dream sign, you get suspended immediately. Yeah. KKK, we'll try. Velveteen Dream, don't touch him.
Who didn't see this coming? Really? Who didn't see this coming? I'm just shocked
we have not seen a penis yet.
Yeah. We're both shocked we haven't seen any penises yet.
To be fair, the screens are small, so maybe we just haven't noticed. It's like in a Fight Club with the little interspersed clips of graphic porn in the movies.
Did you also hear about somebody had a picture, like held up, like the entire time, held up a picture of Chris Benoit?
Yeah, that was during Drew McIntyre, I think, in the beginning, walking out. I think that was what was said. Okay, gotta keep going. Two more pieces. One, The Miz. I guess you didn't watch Talking Smack. I thought you had.
Is it the one with Miz and Big E?
Yeah. So The Miz was there replacing Xavier Woods
because they hadn't told Xavier Woods.
This isn't Mad Libs. This is the news.
Sorry, I saw this news article. I think it was yesterday.
This was something I was just going to tell you, actually, when I was cooking dinner. But apparently, if you, the viewer, haven't heard, apparently The Miz replaced Xavier Woods on Talkin' Smack. It was like kind of one of those things where everyone was kind of excited for Xavier Woods to be hosting it because he had wanted to host something because he was talking about G4 TV.
Yeah.
And The Miz replaced him just randomly. And when they reached out to Xavier Woods, like when the media of sorts reached out to Xavier Woods to be like, hey, why weren't you there? He was like, well, I didn't know I was supposed to be. So
I think it was all related to whether or not he was getting the G4 job. And so I think that's why they withhold telling him.
Why would you advertise it like that?
Because they're dumb.
And I have one final piece of news. It is a piece of news that I'm sure if you know any sort of wrestling news, you probably know this. Which is why I'm saving it for last because it's going to be quick. So as an avid lover of many wrestlers' walkout songs, you might realize that a lot of songs were done by CFOs. CFOs. I don't know. It's a money sign. It's not an S. I'm not going to pretend. But by CFOs. And everyone also noticed that at Raw, Keith Lee's walkout song, as Mark noted, Monday, was different. Because apparently, although CFOs parted ways with WWE, I think in August 2019, they had like a really crappy deal on Keith Lee's song. And like, I don't know. Of all the songs that they've written, I guess that was the one song that they had a terrible deal. I don't know how it's possible that you can write that many walkout songs and have have a shitty royalties deal. I don't know how that's possible. But apparently they are revoking WWE's right to use it, which is why Keith Lee did not walk out to that song. He only walked out to the part that he himself sang or spoke, more or less. And If you want to be stressed, you can be. But Keith Lee specifically said, don't worry, he's going to handle it. Don't know what that means.
Now, I also heard, and you said that this might not be true, but because CFOs did like a lot of Stars songs, like Drew McIntyre, AJ Styles, Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Sasha Banks, just to name a few. He's done a lot. Even Bobby Roode's song, which we love.
Glorious Domination.
Shinsuke's.
So
he did Shinsuke's too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I heard that because it's not just they're parting ways, but I heard that they're revoking the rights from WWE for a lot of their songs.
I don't want to interrupt you. I don't know where you're going with this, but we talked about this. They parted ways in August 2019. This has been a done deal. The band also broke up completely. But
they did give the rights to WWE. Now, I don't know if I thought I read that they're revoking the rights to a lot of songs, but that might be wrong. It might just be to Keith Lee's song.
Because you told me that. So Mark told me this yesterday. I was very stressed out when I got back home. I had been driving for 2 hours and I wanted to die. They also wrote AJ Styles' song. I think you said that, actually. Sorry. Yeah. But basically, finally, I got to the point where I was like, well, shit, I really don't want to have to hear another Drew McIntyre walkout song. I like his song. Like Bobby Roode, I don't know if he's ever going to be allowed back into the country because Canada doesn't want their citizens to get coronavirus, which is understandable. Also, I would not leave Canada for Florida in the midst of a pandemic. That seems not smart. But I finally looked it up, and anything that I found as far as looking up CFOS, WWE, is just talking about the fact that they broke up a couple days ago. They left WWE in 2019, but anything I saw just said that they have a problem with the way that the rights were arranged for the Keith Lee song specifically. I really do not see it being all of a sudden they have to rewrite the songs for a bajillion and 9 superstars.
Mm-hmm.
I really fucking hope not, because
that's a lot of people.
Not only is that a lot of people, but that's going to be like, those are good ass songs.
Yeah.
And also, apparently, in the same article that I read, because I think of the split, a lot of stars were suggested to them to switch their song up to an artist that was working with WWE, and basically any superstar that was presented with the idea was like, no, don't want to. And then they heard the alternatives and they were like, no, I definitely don't want to change from what I have. Oh my god. So I hope it's just Keith Lee. No offense to Keith, but like, I think we're gonna have a lot of unhappy wrestlers if that's not the case.
Oh yeah. But you want to move on?
I think it's about time. There isn't really that much to discuss tonight, honestly. Besides the fact that I do not like the idea of switching to Tuesday. Also, I want to talk to William Regal about a little something. I have a problem with William Regal right now. The problem with William Regal, while I try to tape this down, is that Billy Reegs, my boy, the builder, has like an unhealthy addiction to multi-man matches. Every time William comes out and he's like, I have an announcement to make. He's like, I'm going to have 400 men in the same goddamn ring, and whoever dies first wins the fucking title. So fucking tired of this job.
And then he always says, it's a wonderful idea. It's terrific. It's amazing. I made an amazing idea.
Wait, let's see. So I'll talk while I look this up.
I know exactly what you're looking up.
I'm looking up nothing of your business. No, he's a Taurus. Anyways, May 10th, damn. Early May babies, you can't trust them. Anyways, so this all comes about because, as we discussed at TakeOver, and as Mark and I believe Lucha and I think Milam and Mike all discussed a couple hours prior to me bringing it to the group because I wasn't listening, was that Karrion Kross's shoulder and the rest of his body got a nasty little divorce during his match with Keith Lee. They are currently separated. Their arbitrators are trying to talk it out. It's not going well. But he and Scarlett are fine. Anyways, his arm is messed up, and William Regal saw this injury and was like, holy shit, I can take another title from somebody.
Yeah. They really love taking wrestlers' titles.
It's like, oh my god, this is my dream!
Damien better watch out. He got the hot tub. I don't know if he's going to keep the title.
How do you think he got the goddamn hot tub, Mark? William Regal poisoned that with coronavirus. Give it a week. You give it a week. Oh, wow. I put that back down, actually. I couldn't say a single word there.
So, also, I'm glad to see that Karrion was able to hold on to the title for 3 days. Actually, 4 days. 4 days he held on. Great job, Karrion.
The thing is that, like, I really didn't see Karrion holding that title for an extremely long time. I didn't see him holding it for, like, a year or something or whatever. But I sort of saw him holding it for, like...
a day.
A month.
A week.
One episode? Is that asking for that much?
Yes.
And also, I love the fact that William Regal... Oh, well, actually, we should probably wait to talk about this until the promo. I got another comment to make. Yeah, so Karrion comes out, and he's basically just like, hey, I may have screwed my arm up, and I may have to relinquish this. However, when I come back, I'm going to murder whoever wins this goddamn title.
Yeah, that I'm gonna look forward to. Whoever wins this title is definitely gonna lose it to Karrion when he comes back.
I just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess in some ways I'm glad that, like, a person I don't love more on it, if that was going to be the outcome, like, I don't know. It's... I don't know how long it takes the shoulder to heal, dude. I don't really know if he, like, should really have to give up this title is kind of where I'm going with this. Or if this was just, like, Triple H was like, I love taking things. I love taking things from people.
He really loves taking
I got problems with
things.
NXT. So much we're going to get into tonight, guys. I'm so mad. I've actually never... I don't think I've been this mad at an episode of NXT in... probably a couple weeks, because quadruple question mark kind of threw me over the edge a little bit before TakeOver.
Yeah, well, there's no reason for him to have been back in the first place, so... Anyway, you want to move on to something that'll make us happy?
Yay! Breezango, or Breezango. Whatever you want.
It doesn't matter at this
versus
point.
Imperium. Alicia has said their names, like, both ways multiple times now. So she's my reference for these things, and if she's gonna say it whatever way she feels like on a given day, I will too. So Zango attack Imperium before the bell even rings, and that kind of makes the Imperium guys mad because they're all about respect. That wasn't very respectful. So Fandango and Eichner are both in, just kind of alternating waist locks on each other, just hugging a little bit from behind. And then Fandango gets an arm sub on him. gets Bartel in. Bartel goes to town. Fandango fights Bartel off the corner, and then Eichner clotheslines him. And Bartel returns with a punch to Fandango's back. And then a belly-to-belly suplex to Fandango from Eichner. It wasn't looking very good. I was actually very impressed with how this match turned. Actually, how reciprocal the match was. In the sense that, like, they both looked good. So Fandango finally got Breeze in. Bartel Breeze in the stomach almost immediately. And sent him to the corner, and as he's doing this, Breeze decides this is the perfect time to super kick Eichner off the apron. And then Superman punches Bartel, flips him over to the other corner. Superman punches him over there. And then kicks Bartel in the whole face. And then this was kind of weird. So Breeze was going over to one of the corners, and the ref was in that corner. Like, the ref had to, like, duck out of the way. I thought this was going to be, like, something similar to happened with Io and Dakota Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Where Dakota, like, Dakota accidentally super kicked? Or kicked the ref in the face.
Yeah.
I thought that was what was going to happen there. But it wasn't. It was just he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Breeze was like, oh, shit. Move. So then Bartel suplexes Breeze. A spinning hook kick to Bartel off the top rope, and then arms up on Bartel, but Breeze is then sent into the corner. It's kicked in the head. Breeze slams Bartel into the canvas, but Bartel kicks him away. And then tags Eichner in. Breeze says that's fine. That's not going to bother me. Does a very weird little kick to Eichner's face. Almost like an enziguri, almost like a super kick, almost like a drop kick. There was a lot of different things happening in that moment. But it was a very fast kick too. Also, you made this comment, but I love seeing Breeze's little suction cup marks on the back, on his back.
Yeah, I love seeing that on any wrestler because it's so funny. It looks like an octopus got to him.
He's the only one that I've ever seen it on, but the best part is that, like, I think during TakeOver, it was mostly, like, on, like, one side of his shoulder, and then today, like, it was all across, like, his upper back, and I was like...
I've seen it, I think, on Andrade, too.
That wouldn't shock me. I want to know what it's like. I want to feel that.
It probably feels really nice.
My muscles are always tense, so, like... One time I was told I have a back like an ironing board.
Nice.
I was like, thanks. I'm a very relaxed woman at all times, couldn't you tell? So, after that kick to Eichner's head, he sets up for the catapult, sends Eichner into Fandango's forearm, and then lets him lay there for a moment while Fandango gets up to the top rope to do the leg drop that always scares both of us because it just looks very painful and it looks like it goes right to their neck.
Yeah, it seems like one of those moves that, like, requires very careful precision to not snap the other person's neck.
Or, like, make them vomit, honestly.
Like, give them whiplash.
Like, do you think about, like, anything touching this part of your neck with, like, any force? Like, just touching it alone is like... Like, I can't imagine a whole ass leg landing there. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what I would do. I'd probably die. I would just will myself to die. I'd just be like, this is it, boys. Thank you. So Bartel pulls Eichner out as Fandango covers. These covers? I don't really know who's in this. I think it was Fandango. Because Fandango was the last one in. Fandango says, that's not going to work. So he dives out of the ring onto both of them and then is immediately dives out onto Eichner, but then is immediately met with a European uppercut from Bartel. It's sort of how I feel most days. I'm like, yay! And then somebody's just like, no.
And we should talk about Wade Barrett on commentary. In addition to all this,
Yeah.
it was good.
Welcome back, Wade Barrett.
He was like he was adding a little bit of personality to the commentary, which is something I think NXT was missing a little bit.
It's funny because like he has such like a larger than life voice that it is like it's a little distracting, but he had really good commentary. I really enjoyed listening to him. He was not annoying at all. And with the voice he has, he 100% could have been annoying. I 100% could see myself being like, but also don't get too used to it because he will be gone come NXT UK coming back. I am almost positive of that. I do not see him sticking around. I don't think he's planned to at all. It's been nice. I think he's coming back for Tuesday. I think they said that.
I have no idea.
Fingers crossed. So what's the name of the other guy, by the way?
Vic Joseph. He's from 205
Okay, because
Live.
whenever I see his name, I always just think of Vic Vinegar from It's Always Sunny. I don't know why. Anyways, so Fandango gets back in the ring. He is in a headlock from Eichner. Eichner does a lovely little German suplex to him. And then a moonsault off the top rope to Fandango, a cover, and then Breeze breaks it up. Bartel throws Breeze around, kind of slams him into the ramp a little bit. Looked painful, didn't feel great, I'm sure. Fandango live again, still to deal with Eichner, gets a jawbreaker on Eichner, and Eichner gets Bartel in. Bartel slams Fandango into the canvas. Bartel then gets Dango in the ropes, and they go for he's kind of laying across, sort of like when Sasha does her double knees to the torso. So he's laying across like the corner on both sides of the ropes. Eichner's outside, Bartel's in. They're going for like a kick, I think probably like both to like his midsection or his head. I don't really goddamn know. But Fandango escapes. So slick, so fast. And they run into each other with their kicks. And Breeze is in, immediately clotheslined. Breeze is in, he is ready, and Bartel's just like, oh. And it doesn't phase it. He just super kicks Bartel, he super kicks Eichner. Fandango comes in, does the double leg drop. And we have new tag team champions. Hallelujah.
You know, the match was really good. It was probably one of my favorites today. It was a really good match, given that NXT doesn't care about tag teams at all.
Yeah. I get that. I'm happy that we saw a title change like in a regular show though, and not in like a pay-per-view especially.
Yeah.
I think that's exciting. I don't know how long Imperium's had it for.
I can tell you. Okay.
Did we see them win it? I feel like we did.
No, they won it from. Oh wait, yes, we did. It was when we started watching NXT. They won it from Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher.
Oh yeah, because then they turned on each other, and then we had a cage match where Timmy Thatch may have lost some teeth. We don't really know. We already had lost some teeth, so it's counting now.
And Splucha said it's been just over 100 days they've had the title for.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, so new tag team title holders. Very exciting. I'm happy about it. Great way to start it. A shitty way to exist through the rest of it, but that was fine. Actually, just kidding. This upcoming promo is pretty stellar. Damian Priest is backstage. He's still alive, surprisingly, in spite of the hot tub. And in spite of the fact that he's holding a title. So basically, Mackenzie, the other blonde, the NXT blonde, she's basically asking him, like, are you worried? Like, you kind of got, like, the crosshairs on you now. You got a title. And Damien's like, oh, I'm not worried at all, blah, 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 blah. I'm a big, strong man. I'm so tall. Damn. And Tim Tam Thatch comes through and he's like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you for the title. Damian Priest thinks that he's going to win against Timothy, which I think is charming personally.
I hope Damian wins. I think if he wins, then it's going to be a really good match.
Don't say that kind of stuff in my face. I gave Damian the benefit of the doubt for a lot of things. I won't give it to him for this. That's my boy.
I mean, all Damian has to do is just give him the Rona from the hot tub. And then he wins.
Do you think coronavirus would have the absolute balls to infect Timothy Thatcher?
Yeah. He had the balls to get into that parking lot hot tub with Triple H.
No, I'm saying that, like, the literal coronavirus germs, I feel like they'd encounter Timothy and be like, nope, we're out. We're not doing this today.
Yeah.
Tim Tam's antibodies, like, do, like, a submission hold on them. Like Osmosis Jones, but WWE.
Anyway.
I always wanted to enjoy that movie, and then we always get to that scene where Bill Murray eats the egg off the ground.
That's so gross.
Oh,
that is.
I have somehow seen that movie like 14 times in the span of like 5 years, I think. Every time, I'm just like.
When I was a kid, I almost puked watching that.
We're in such a funny goddamn movie. Anyways, now that we've talked about Osmosis Jones on the podcast, let's talk about Tom Tom GPS, aka Tommaso Ciampa. I already got him a nickname.
So this enhancement talent match.
It's homophobic.
I can't believe they use.
Calling it now.
I can't believe they use Jake Atlas as enhancement talent.
You got 5 million trainees. I'm sure you could find a couple small ones in there.
Just use Buggs.
Yeah, use Jake Atlas. Dude, use Buggs. Buggs as enhancement talent. I would fight for that. Just see him get kicked in the goddamn face. Eat Buggs out of the ring. I fucking care. Anyways, so Tom GPS fights Jake Atlas. Immediately I was like, this is weird because Tommaso's just coming back since the last takeover. I would hope that at least it'd be like a promo beforehand. Nope. The promo was him destroying Jake Atlas, apparently. Because
I did like the moment after the fight when he berated him.
So basically, Tommaso and Jake are just kind of like arguing in a corner, as most wrestling matches begin with. And Jake kind of like gets in his face a little bit, like that way that like men do when they like are about to get into a fight at a bar or something, where like they put their arms back and their chest down. They're like blah blah blah. Jake Atlas does that. It was weird. And Tommaso just butts him, just knocks him in the head with his head. And then just kind of kicks him around, stomps on him a bit, does a Willow's Bell DDT to Atlas through the ropes, which was also called a Draper DDT, I'm pretty sure, last SummerSlam.
No, Draper DDT is different from what he did. Because I thought about it.
They were just draping him over the rope.
Yeah. I forget what the difference was here. I think he was like partially lifting him up too before he did the DDT. I don't know. It was.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, or either way, I love me a good DDT.
Of course, a DDT is always good. That's pretty much like the beginning of the end of it. Like he just takes him out with the DDT, and Atlas is gone. He's done. He's knocked out pretty much.
Not yet, said Tommaso.
Yeah. So I was like, well, that's maybe they're pulling a Sheamus storyline with him, where he's just going to destroy enhancement talent for a couple of weeks, and it's whatever. No, Tommaso then says, I've learned a couple lessons from Timothy Thatcher. So now I'm going to really put the hurt on. And throws him through everything. He punts the poor kid.
Yeah,
He catapults him into the metal frame of the wrestling ring.
he pulled a Randy Orton on him.
He did. I mean, I'd love to see that. That'd be something.
He just didn't whisper in his ear.
Now, if I could take one thing away from the punt, it'd probably be that. So I'll accept it.
Not the Viper. The Viper smash.
Hovering. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to do this to you.
Big Atlas was just like, who are you?
Every time Randy punts someone, it's always, unless it's like somebody that he actually hates, he's just like, he's whispering in their ear, just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't want to do this to you. You made this happen. And I'm like, no, Randall, you punted him. Take responsibility.
He didn't whisper in Shawn Michaels' ear.
True. Well, there's only so much you can do with your boss before it becomes workplace harassment.
Well, I don't know if Shawn Michaels is Randy's boss.
Randy is Randy's boss.
Vince answers to Randy.
Like those goofy, like, in Russia jokes. It's just in Raw. Anywho. So, after he does that, the refs come out, they signal for a medic because people... I feel like the moment people realize what, like, throwing up the X means, the refs were like, oh shit. Or rather, the writers were like, oh shit, we can do that and make it seem like it's real and, like, really, like, bad. Now they do it, and I'm just like, I don't believe you. I don't see blood. I'm not worried. So the refs come out. Hot ref, who didn't exfoliate his tan at TakeOver, but looks much better now. Hot ref yells at Randy. They got me doing it. But he yells at Tommaso. He's like, get out of here. You gotta stop this. What did he ever do to you? And like shit like that. They like load him up, like they load Jake Atlas onto a stretcher. Tommaso's just sitting all pretty. He's sitting all pretty on the apron, just like, I've done my work. And then he's like, actually, no, I have not. And he rips Jake Atlas from the stretcher and throws him down on the ground again. Just, like, he DDTs him in a neck brace. I love Tommaso. That's all. I also love Jake Atlas's. Made me feel kind of sad. Feel bad for him.
Jake Atlas needs to get his fucking intro in order.
He needs to get all of his things in order right now. Sorry, I've got a headache. I've got to take something for it.
His intro doesn't match his gear doesn't match his jacket doesn't match his song. He needs to figure out an aesthetic.
Like, his song almost has, like, the same, like, not song, his walkout, like, Titanatron thing basically has, like, the same vibe as Heavy Machinery's almost in a weird way. Like, color and, like, design-wise.
Like cyberpunk.
It's not even that. It's like... Oh, what was, that old cartoon with, it's not old, but, like, the kid who was, like, cyber something and, like, oh god.
Johnny Test?
No, it was like Cyber Flash or something, or like, I don't know. Oh my god. Now this is gonna bother me.
Code Lyoko?
No. Definitely not, but I wish.
Dexter's Laboratory? Yes,
No.
Splucha, remember Code Lyoko? Also, Splucha's right. We gotta take the intros for what we can get. They won't be getting better anytime soon.
Wait, am I thinking of Static Shock?
Are you seriously thinking of Static Shock? If you are, I'm gonna be mad.
I haven't even retweeted the tweet about the podcast. Shit. Anyways.
Do you want me to move into the next part? While you do what you gotta do?
Just go over here real quick.
All right, so after this brutal supremacy, we had an interview with Bronson Reed, the one of the worst parts of this whole show.
No, you let me jump into this one
Okay.
real fucking quick. I got some words to say.
Okay.
I got something to say right here. I did not realize, because my eyes are very blurry and I cannot see my notes that well, I did not realize what was coming up, and I'm mad. If I do that, I'm gonna have to sign over. Let me just say something. There has never been a day where I thought, oh my god, I would so much rather just see Bronson Reed in a promo. Never did I think that the day would come.
You see, here's how they push Bronson Reed. They put him in a 5-man match with Velveteen Dream. And then
they're Shayna Baszlering him to me.
Yeah, they just match him up with worse and worse people.
So, Bronson Reed's just like, yeah, I want the title. I have no goddamn clue what he's saying. I wasn't listening because I don't like Bronson Reed. I really don't care for him. I don't think he's interesting as a character. That's what it is. I'm gonna say that. Anyways, that's not the point. He's a decent enough wrestler, and that's what matters at the end of the day. I took one note originally. It was just Bronson Reed backstage. And then a man who was so generic, I didn't recognize him for a goddamn second. I didn't even recognize this man. In fact, he looked like at least 14 different men I definitely have run into at a bar and 100% had to walk away from because I was like, oh no, I'm in danger. So Austin Theory's back. And conveniently enough, Austin Theory gets accused of basically Velveteen Dreaming a girl. And by that I mean...
Because I did want to like address this with some comments and arguments. I just want to say it's a little more obscure than the Velveteen Dream situation because there was a screenshot of text. That was it. Screenshot of text where this girl says she's 16 and he wants her to add him on Snapchat. That's where the conversation ends.
Okay, so my thing here is that one, I don't trust him. I think he looks skeevy. Don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that one bit. Two, I think he's a shit wrestler. I'm gonna just, that's point blank. Before I even knew about any of this stuff, before speaking out happened, he's a shit wrestler. He is so boring to watch. Oh my god, he drives me so far up the goddamn wall. Anyways, still another point. The point is that every single article that I've heard that's like, so, Austin Theory's like been gone for a while after that one girl accused him of inappropriate contact or conduct. I don't know.
Of
whatever.
Seducing a minor.
Sure. First of all, Austin Theory's age, which is whatever. I know it's not 17. So if you're Austin Theory's age, probably don't add 16-year-old. Okay, yeah. So Mark, if you added a 16-year-old girl on Snapchat that wasn't in some way like your cousin, like, don't do that. Because that's weird.
I saw people on Twitter saying like, oh, well, she's clearly not 16 because she posted a picture in 2018 saying that she is a nursing student. So she's clearly lying, saying she's younger. But even if that's true, she still said she was 16, and Austin Theory still wanted to add her on Snapchat, which, you know, it's not explicitly sexual, but what other reason would you want to add somebody on Snapchat for nowadays? You're not going to send pictures of your cat back and forth. At least not the animal cat.
So, in light of everything that's been happening on NXT recently, in light of the whole Velveteen Dream thing, in light of all that, you know, who cares? Whatever, right? I guess Triple H or whoever, Shawn Michaels maybe, as if Shawn Michaels knows where the hell he is half the time, Or I guess William Regal, maybe. Who cares? You know what? In light of all the Velveteen Dream stuff, I guess Triple H sat down and said, yeah, you know what? It would be really awesome if we had 2 men accused of being creeps on our show. Wouldn't that be just like fun and sexy for all of us? Oh my god. So we have to deal with this again. I have problems with it.
Yeah. A lot of problems.
I have problems with how far away the sign is tonight. And
It
also how
wouldn't-
close it is.
Okay, here's one thing that kind of mediates here. It would be one thing if they brought them back, but said something about it before bringing them back. They clearly addressed Velveteen Dream and said that they found nothing because people were outraged about it. Because there was so much outrage about them not saying anything, so they just tried to save face. But as we clearly know, the accuser was never reached out to.
Yeah. So the problem that I'm having is that they did get rid of Matt Riddle, but I'm sure in light of everything still, which again, all of this is allegedly, or as Mark would say,
allegedly. Also, I'm more willing to side.
that's very sensual.
I'm more willing to consider the other side for Matt Riddle because this. I'm not arguing for Matt Riddle in any way. I'm not. I'm just saying that I would be more willing to than Austin Theory and Velveteen because those are very clear, like, you had an intention here. Whereas Matt Riddle, it's a he said, she said situation.
I stand with absolutely none of those men.
And Mike,
on a
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to address what I use Snapchat for. Because he said, I don't know what you do on Snapchat, Mark. Since apparently it's just a den of depravity, which it is. It is.
There is one person who Snapchats me at least 4 times a week. I have not responded to him in a year. I know that he sends these out as mass Snapchats to everybody in his friends group, and every once in a while I'll just like open up my Snapchat and I'll watch a month's worth of Snapchats. I'm like, oh, that's what you've been doing. Interesting.
I haven't opened up Snapchat in a long time.
Sometimes I'm just bored. I was like, yeah, what's a filter? I haven't done a filter in a while. Anyways,
one of those filters. Sorry.
Now that we've had some fun, now that we've had our intermission, I just want to say that I stand with absolutely none of these men. I hope for nothing but the worst. And that's all. Eat. Anyways, do we want to move on to Mia Yim?
Yes. Who has done nothing wrong in her life, I assume.
I love Mia Yim. I don't care if she's a member of Retribution. It's fine.
I just wish they brought her up to Raw with Keith. I feel like she's very underutilized on NXT.
And also, in addition to that, versus somebody that we also love.
Yes, I didn't know who to root for here.
So first of all, starting off with this very confusing introduction. Mia Yim comes out, and I'm like, yay, Mia Yim. And then Robert Stone and Aaliyah come out. They're not announced. Robert Stone comes out, and he's doing the Robert Stone thing where he just kind of berates Mia Yim. Pardon me, I got a little hiccup. And Shotzi comes out and rides over his leg with her tank again.
Well,
and I guess that means that Shotzi's fighting Mia now.
The reason Robert Stone and Aaliyah came out was because Aaliyah was supposed to be fighting Mia, but then Shotzi came out for some reason, and that's why they started fighting. Shotzi was the one who wasn't supposed to be there.
No, I got that vibe. It was just like a very weird way to set everything up, I guess.
Oh yeah. Mike is really mad about Shotzi taking Aaliyah's shine.
Oh yeah, Mike, I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that. R.I.P. Mike's hopes and dreams for tonight. So Mia gets Shotzi's hands kind of behind her back, but Shotzi still manages to send Mia to the canvas. Does her welcome to the ball pit move. The best move in the entirety of WWE. Would love to see it happen on Velveteen Dream. Or Austin Theory. Ask for little. Anyways, a head scissors to Shotzi from Mia. Shotzi, I have no clue what this note means. I guess Shotzi was about to do a Hurricane Rana to Mia. Mia escaped it? Or just... There was one weird Hurricane Rana that happened tonight that didn't make any sense to me. It looked more like a head scissors, but they called it a Hurricane Rana, and I was like...
Yeah. There was another moment.
This may have been it.
There was, during, I think, the next fight, there was a moment where there was, like, supposed to be a Hurricane Rana, but it was kind of weird. I don't know if that's what you're thinking of, but I do know what you're talking about, how there was a flying head scissors, and they called it Hurricane Rana.
Yeah, I was like, if that's a Hurricane Rana, then someone was really off kilter for it, I think. Anywho, what's this? Then like Mia and Shotzi are like, oh, we're still pals. Like, we're best friends, right? Like, it's all good. It's all good. We're cool. Shake. Five. Kiss on the cheek. And then Mia sucker punches Shotzi. I was like, all right. Friends. And then throws her into the corner. Shotzi stops her with her legs, but Mia wrenches her down to the canvas one way or the other. Shotzi manages a bulldog to Mia Yim, which is slowly starting to become another one of my favorite moves. I love seeing a good bulldog. I think it's mostly because like I see it happen. I'm like, that's a bulldog. And then everything else happens. And I'm like,
And it's also like, I think Shotzi just executes it perfectly. She has like the hair whip down perfect. She basically like floats for 5 seconds. It's awesome.
She's very good. She's very good at her job.
Yeah.
That's why they pay her the big bucks or the third biggest bucks in terms of brands. I don't fucking know. Anyways, actually, they don't get paid much at all. Sam.
Mike just said, Mia lost. Is she looking for ... retribution?
They, at some point, was it... may have been during this match. I know that retribution, the word itself was said during this evening's broadcast. And I'm slowly becoming... It's becoming like a drinking game to me, where it's like every time they mention retribution, especially on Raw, whether it's a faction or just the word, you gotta take a shot. I would love to continue to do that.
I swear the commentators like have a game where they try and insert retribution as much as possible, and the loser has to drink or something. That's what I'm hoping they got going.
I think Beth Phoenix is winning that game because she's mentioned like 3 times now, or mentioned the word 3 times now. I hope it's Beth Phoenix because I love her. So then we get a suplex to Mia and a senton off the top rope. And I don't know, dude. Looks like Shotzi's getting like a little tiny, like a little push, if you will. Oh,
Little push.
Anyways.
You know what? Here's a bold claim. I think Shotzi's gonna win the NXT Women's title.
I think I've lost the cat, but I would be shocked by that. I don't know if maybe in like the next year, but I think that she will have it within 2 years.
They are pushing her like nobody's business recently, and she has looked amazing during this push. They're trying to bring her around the whole gallery of women's wrestlers right now.
she's looked good, and she's also she's super likable, I think, as a character. So I think that also helps. But I think she needs to have a longer match than she's had recently in order for it to start feeling really real.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love her, she's still not Io Shirai.
Right. But Bronson Reed isn't Keith Lee. And
well, listen.
He went for the title.
Is it almost like the men get away with being something less? Get further with it? Is it almost like that sometimes in wrestling? Is it almost like that? Would you say that there's a bit of a disadvantage in wrestling? I'm sorry, I'm really fired up.
Tegan, the reason I'm writing off Tegan is because she already went for the title, and now she's kind of got a storyline with Candice going. It would be interesting if they introduced like a women's tag team title to NXT, because right now there's nothing for women's tag teams right now.
So I apologize. I think I may have glossed over this part because I don't think I took a note about it. But Candice LeRae also had a promo this evening.
She did.
With yeah, I just don't know when it was because I didn't take this note. But basically just talking about yeah. But it was just talking about her friendship with Tegan and how Tegan didn't come to help her when she needed her most, and that's why they aren't friends anymore. I was like, ooh, in a storyline with Candice soon. More story. This episode left me feeling very aggro, so it's fine.
I think from this point on, the show itself was pretty decent. There was one point where it wasn't the show's fault that it was awful. It was our own internet's fault.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Okay. Splucha, the only reason I don't see Shotzi going to the main roster is because we're still seeing her in the or before the Thunderdome, we were seeing her in the Performance Center crowds, and normally those are for trainees or enhancement talent. Cue Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro. So I don't think that she would be called up if she was still among those people, but I could see her getting a push to the title.
I would be convinced that she'll move up to the main roster in a couple of years. I think she's still got a couple more years in NXT though before anything else happens to her.
Yeah, for sure.
Movement wise, I don't know how old she is, but I think she's got to be pretty young.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay, look that up. I also did miss another promo. I think. I'm gonna scroll real quick just to make sure. Yes, I did. Johnny Gargano gave a promo as well, talking about how he's been called the Iron Man before, and he's gonna win the title because he's a big, strong man. Oh, fine.
So Shotzi is 28.
He looks a lot younger. I mean, I don't know what 28 looks like.
Oh,
I feel like anybody between the ages of like 23 to 29, I'm just like,
yeah, like consider that Rhea's 23.
I feel like the 20s, you're just like, you guys look like a person. You look like a slightly younger person, but not a young person. How's that?
And Splucha, I think Rhea might get it before Shotzi, but I think Shotzi at some point, whether she gets it from Io or Rhea, she will get it. And I think it would make more sense for Rhea, since they kind of had a little tag team going for a little bit. But anyway.
Alright. So, beginning of the end for me here. Riggs comes out. I ask him about the title. And he's like, oh yes, I do have a plan. And we all know that plan is, he's like, I'm going to take 17 people and shove them into the same space and see who fights to the death first. I swear to God, this dude must watch Royal Rumble and be like, yes, so many people in one space.
You know,
how do I contain myself?
I do want to give him credit for trying to kind of mix it up, so it's not just singles matches with no stipulations. It's like, I don't know, it makes it different, it makes it unpredictable, because if it's a singles match, you can kind of predict who's going to win, but if it's a 4-way or even a 5-way, it's very difficult to figure out who's going to win.
Listen, so here's the thing. Of the 3 sentient men that were in the boardroom prior to this promo, that is not including Shawn Michaels. I, again, don't quite know if he knows exactly where he is half the time. I like him the most, which hurts because Triple H, you used to be my darling. How'd you do it? How'd you do anything you did in the last, 2 weeks? I don't know. Anyways. I do have... I don't even know if I have a problem with what's happening with this. I just have a... I guess. I don't know. We'll talk about it in, one promo. There's something else that happens in between this. I just love him. I also do think that he looks incredibly exhausted as of lately, so...
Well, I mean...
I think it's because he had to talk to Pat McAfee, so...
If you think about what's going on with NXT, this all started with Keith Lee and how he had both titles, and then the folks at Raw were probably like, yeah, let's bring Keith Lee to the main roster, and then William Regal was like, well, that just doesn't work.
We gotta unload all these titles?
Are we gonna have another winners take all match between him and Karrion? So he probably had some forethought and said, you know what, we'll relinquish the NXT title first. Get that out of the way. Keep Keith Lee as the champ. And then later on, have him fight Karrion Kross. But then Karrion Kross had his injury during the fight, so he legitimately cannot defend the title anymore. So they have to figure out a new plan. And I feel like picking 2 people to go for the title is too little to do.
That's not entirely my problem. I'm just making fun of him.
Oh yeah.
I'm just being an asshole. But with that said, I also feel like it kind of sucks to be him because he's also got to be the bearer of bad news 90% of the time. It's just like, yeah, so Keith decided to relinquish his title. I'm like, yeah, I guess Karrion Kross quite literally can't defend his title. And yeah, Dexter Lumis has a muscle that has completely degraded in his ankle, so... Fuck. So it's gotta suck. Also, again, I want to reiterate, at TakeOver, when he had to talk to Pat McAfee, he sounded like he wanted to absolutely lay down in front of a car and die. He was just like, hi, Pat. I just want you to know I don't want your men near the ring tonight. I was like...
Mike said, just be thankful Dream didn't worm his way into the match, though I bet he shows up. Velveteen Nightmare. Yeah, no. You know, we haven't seen Velveteen since TakeOver, but I mean, it has been only 1 episode. I wonder if they're doing anything regarding the backlash that they've received about bringing Dream back. And the fact that he's still getting into trouble after he was brought back.
Well, yeah, because he's a predator, and sometimes predators can't just stop themselves. Nobody yells at a lion for killing a gazelle, and the lion's like, oh shit, I'm gonna stop today. Anywho.
But also, at the end of the day, it is a choice he can make. He just chooses to be awful.
Not that lions are awful. I really like lions. They're very large cats.
Lions are amazing.
They're the ancestors of my small cat, who can't kill a bug to save her life. And yet they can kill gazelles. Pete, what's up with that? I like shoulder twitched. Like, I swear to God. If I can kill you. So, that was actually something I was going to say. I am kind of shocked that Velveteen did not find his way into this match.
And in fact, Tommaso did.
Well, to be totally fair, William Regal was also the one who was like, when Velveteen wanted Adam Cole's NXT championship, Regal was like, if you lose this match, you literally cannot challenge him ever again.
Yeah.
It was like, rock on, Billy Reeks.
I wonder if that
coming
was
home for us.
I wonder if that was per Adam Cole's request.
I just hope it was William Regal just being like, no, stop. I'm tired. I have done so many interviews. Anyways, we can't talk about Billy this whole time because after this promo, there's another Billy Reeks promo. We then have Dakota and Raquel backstage. They're just talking about how Rhea isn't actually friends with Io anymore. Like, they're not actually a team. Rhea just wants Nexties at the title, and I love Raquel and Dakota together. I think they're really cute.
Yeah, and it's nice to see kind of a duo that's where one of them's not like, oh, you think you can do this alone? Okay, bitch.
Yeah.
No, Raquel was
supportive ladies.
Yeah, Raquel's like, yeah, I still support you. We're badasses. Let's get this.
We're also hot, and I'm tall.
Spanish Sonia, yes, how dare you?
Yeah, she's Italian. Anyways,
she's Italian.
So Sonya Deville, yes, she's. I don't know her last name off the top of my head. I just know that it is. It's very.
No. Raquel's Spanish
Raquel, no.
Sonya.
Yeah, no, I know. But that's my brain was trying to. Oh, what's Sonya?
Yeah. Got a very Italian nose.
Sonya?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in love with it. I'm Big Nose Squad for life over here.
Wait, is she really from Jersey?
Sonya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just because you were born there doesn't mean y'all were neighbors.
No, I just think it's cool, like how you love Bobby Fish because he's from.
Well, yeah, because
where you're from.
It's from my hometown, baby.
Okay.
We drink the same crappy water. We smell the same shitty Hudson air. When there was a south wind, we were both smelling the buffalo poop. And actually, I think he grew up in like a much more urban area of my hometown.
Splucha,
I smell the buffalo poop though.
I'm not from Jersey. I was just born in Jersey.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this podcast if he was.
Wow.
I can't even make that joke. It's like half of the people that have ever employed me are from Jersey. Yeah. The only reason we have this apartment is really because of people from Jersey.
Yeah.
So half of my stepdad's family, I think, is also from Jersey.
My family's from Jersey.
And you're left-handed.
Okay, why are you bringing that into it? When did this podcast be shitting on me?
Yeah, I'll save that for best of the night.
Oh God.
I don't know. That's when you're normally accused of heel turns. That's usually when it seems like it's sanctioned to shit on you.
Anyway, do you want to continue so we can get this whole joyride over with?
The final Billy Reeks promo?
Yes.
So Billy Reeks comes out. He says some stuff that has not yet actually been announced. You would have thought that maybe they would have mentioned this like a couple seconds earlier, so that when he said it, I wasn't like, what the fuck? And he's like, so on a special Tuesday night episode of NXT, which was the other confusing aspect, because if it's a special Tuesday night episode, why is it going to be on Tuesday for the rest of however long? It's not special. It's just, you moved your show. Anywho. He's having 4 former champions battle for the title, which is kind of where I'm like a little like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I do really want to see 3 of the 4 men, probably. I mean, I even wouldn't be that upset with all for. But it's just also like one of those things where you're like, well, wouldn't you want to like be offered the chance to at least like one up and comer? I don't know.
No, because Karrion's gonna come back for it, and imagine how amazing it would be to have Karrion fight a 2-time champ and win. It'll be a better fight than him versus Keith Lee. But in regards to the match that's gonna happen next week, I'm gonna put my prediction down beforehand. You want me to wait?
Say who's fighting it. I say who's fighting it before you.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't know. You didn't.
I'm sorry. Something is. I raised one of these legs up way too far, so it keeps trying to fall over on top of me. So it is going to be Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole. Versus Tom GPS, Tommaso Ciampa.
Tom GPS.
Yes. It's 2 fingers, 2 hands, 1 thumb. Thanks for coming to our TikTok dance lesson.
Oh no.
Versus Fergal. So you can already assume Finn's not winning. Because it'll be over Triple H's cold, dead body before Finn gets another title shot.
Yeah, so here's my prediction. Finn,
Survive.
hated by Triple H. Why the auto mod caught Splucha real quick.
Splucha, what did you do?
Do for identity? No, that's yeah. Anyway, sorry. I don't know why the auto mod caught you for a second.
What did you do, Splucha?
So Finn, Triple H hates him. He is never destined to win a main event match. Let alone win a title. And we all know this is going to be a main event match. Tommaso recently has only fought Jake Atlas. It would be kind of weird if they had Tommaso come back in his second fight, he wins the NXT title. But also, it wouldn't be so far from them to have Tommaso win it and have a rematch against Karrion Kross. Just considering that, maybe him. Adam Cole was just the NXT title holder very recently. I don't think. Plus, he's doing stuff with Undisputed Era now. They made a very specific point that they're a team again. It's not just solo stuff again.
I got big problems with that, by the way. We're going to talk about it. I got big problems.
And then Johnny, who I have no argument against right now. I think he is the most likely person to get the title right now. Plus, it's been a while since he's had the title.
So first of all, first of all, I want to split. I need to know what your Guido stable is. I want to know what that's going to be. By the way, second of all, I don't have my notes up anymore. I opened up the chat. I can see. Personally, I'm going to be happy with probably anybody. I don't necessarily want it to be Tommaso.
Yeah.
Only because Tommaso left for like, what was it, like 2-3 months? When was Takeover in your house?
That was 2 months ago.
It feels like, yeah, maybe.
3? I don't know. I mean, think about this. Who would be most likely to get destroyed by Karrion when he comes back?
Well, okay, so my thing is that the only person that this would necessarily, or the only people this would necessarily make sense for in that context is Tommaso, because Tommaso's last match was against Karrion and then he left. Yeah. Or Finn. I feel like Finn might have a shot. Johnny and Adam, I can't quite see it working there. But that being said, I personally am. I would be happy with just about anyone. I can't really see myself being happy with Tommaso. It feels weird to give him that big of a push a week after his first match back, which was an enhancement talent match. It just feels weird and forced. But with that said, I mean, obviously, I think any of the guys I'm going to be happy with. I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, since we haven't actually discussed the details, it's going to be a 60-minute Iron Man match, which sounds like 15 pages of notes from me. So I apologize. I don't know how we're going to talk about that at all. But
can I throw in one more thing real quick?
I can throw in one more thing real quick.
Another thing to consider is Triple H loves heel title holders. Like, he loves it. That's why Karrion is a title holder, Santos is a title holder, Imperium was a title holder, Adam Cole is a title holder. I think the only... We have two heels in this Iron Man match right now, and that's Johnny and Adam. Adam is making a face turn right now, so we only really have... Well, I guess Tommaso, too.
Not Tommaso? He murdered a man on a stretcher today. If you don't recall.
I know, but I'm kind of not considering Tommaso right now because he did just come back and had a single match against Jake Atlas. Johnny is back. Wow. Johnny is a heel. And he's also the type of heel that is kind of a little cowardly. So Karrion would be able to, like, decimate him. And then that match would be amazing because you just have Karrion dominating like he couldn't with Keith Lee. It's going to be okay. Time's up. I'm back. Give me the title.
That's fair. Sorry, the cat started licking my foot. I felt weird. I didn't like that at all, but I can still feel her breath on my heel.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It's not great. It's not a good time. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it. More than I can say for North American title, which I was in sort of theory kind of looking forward to, but then Velveteen Dream came on. I was like, oh. So, but yeah, I feel like we've seen more title changes on NXT in however many months than we have on literally Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, well, we just had the...
Combined.
We had the Intercontinental title won recently.
How does Michael Cole say that? How does Michael Cole say that?
This is for the Intercontinental title.
The cat heard that through my headphones. Anyways. Does Blue ever get back to us on what his stable's going to be? No offense, Splucha, that just sounds like you're making a stable around Enzo and Big Cass. I don't know. That's just what I'm seeing when I read your message. I hate to hurt you like that. If that hurts you, it would hurt me. But anywho, as a lifelong New Yorker, I have to make issues with New Jersey people, New Jersey folk, if you will.
We spent so much time on this one part.
Yeah.
We're almost 2 hours in already.
Don't worry, we missed one match, so it'll be fine. So then we have Swerve versus Santos. We start off with a hand sub on Swerve. Swerve then jumps off the top rope, kind of launching Santos out of the ring while they're still holding hands. It was very sweet. Swerve gets thrown into the plexiglass and then is sent face first over the steel steps. And Santos just kind of takes to kicking Swerve. Sends some double knees into his chest. And then Santos and Swerve kind of do that like straight couple yoga pose where like Swerve's got like his arms and legs up in the air and Santos is just kind of like on top looking down at him. Like those these couples always do, like, for, like, Instagram videos and shit where they're like, look how in sync we are. I'm like, yeah. We have a very bad Hurricane Rana. Which, as I wrote in my notes, or if you're Mark, a flying head scissors countered by Santos into a powerbomb.
That's very much what it looked like. It looked like Swerve tried to do that, and then Santos said, "Nope." Bam. But Mike said your podcast length increases ×2 when Splooch and I are unchained in this chat. Automod tried to chain you guys, but I allowed it.
Automod couldn't be. So it's still your fault. We wouldn't trade it for the world, boys. Anywho, can't wait to wake up for work tomorrow. Please wake me up. So we get a drop elbow to Santos's back off the top rope, and then a foot right to Santos's face. Because basically, after all this happened, Swerve kind of got a little mad. Not mad enough to avoid the fact that he backflipped over the ropes and out of the ring onto Santos, which was pretty cool.
And stuck the landing too.
Yeah. But then Joaquin Wilde came. He jumped up on the apron. He hadn't been there before. But he came out of nowhere, jumped up on the apron, and was like yelling at the ref about something. And then while that's happening, Mendoza distracts Swerve, and Santos takes his moment there to dropkick Swerve in the entire back. He covers, but Swerve kicks out. Breezango then comes up to defend Swerve in the sense that they got rid of Joaquin and Mendoza. And there's a high knee to Santos, and he kicks out. Swerve does a really beautiful German suplex into a bridge to Santos. And it was then there was like I don't know, some weird kicks. He powerbombs Santos, and Santos still grabs the rope. And I was like, damn, we've got like 14 kickouts in like 5 minutes. How did we do that? And then it got weird. Santos goes under the, like, it was, I guess it was in the apron. Somehow he pulls out his luchador mask and headbutt Swerve, and that kills Swerve.
I would have loved this match, but it seems like it's like a Jeff Hardy, like a Nega Jeff kind of situation where Santos just put on the mask and won. It's like people didn't know who he was till he put on the mask.
Yeah, it was. I didn't love it. I didn't love it at all.
Also, I hope everyone understands the reference I just made.
Spider-Man, right?
Nope.
The Joker.
Nope.
Tony the Tiger?
There you go. That's it. Tony the masked tiger.
I was talking about his bandana.
Mike said his mask definitely had something pointed in it, like a sharp object. I didn't notice that. Maybe it did. I didn't think about that.
See, we wouldn't have known because our TV, because we have such great Wi-Fi, was a little pixelated at the time. It kind of feels like we have like a satellite dish. I feel like I'm in like a dish commercial, or a satellite. I don't know. It was bad, but if that's the case, fine. I'll take it. If that's not the case, it was silly.
Yeah. Otherwise, I thought this was a great match. I thought both Santos and Swerve were awesome today, both in their own ways. Although it did have a lot of kicking out, I think it was paced well enough to where it worked well. And then the disruption by Legato, it did affect Swerve, but it's not how Santos won the fight. And I think that's the most important thing here. Like, yes, there was a distraction, but it didn't win the fight for Santos.
Which they've been doing a lot more of recently.
Yeah. And I think that just benefited Swerve more because you had him, like, beat up by Legato and pinned by Santos, and he still managed to kick out. And I've just been thinking of Swerve as the guy who's been betting too much money on Raw Underground, but I keep forgetting he's, like, capable of really good fights.
I'm glad that we at least got to see him like a real fight tonight, as opposed to when he was with Breezango. Like that one episode. It's just I feel like we had a better scope of what his actual wrestling is.
Yeah. And then we get that same match on Tuesday next week.
Forgot about that. Anyways, you can tell how tired I am. Look at like these under circles. I cover up on. Like I've got concealer. And concealer can't stop. Anyway, so Finn's in Aleister Black's dressing room, as he often is when he does his promos. There's nowhere else that he can do them. This is about when we lost satellite or whatever
Wi-Fi
thing connects our TV to the world. Yeah, sure, that one. Or like the little hamster that lives in our router that I guess died today. I don't know. He's doing the same thing. He also says that people used to call him the Iron Man. So I think that he and Johnny need to have like a little sit-down conversation where they're like, no, I'm the Iron Man.
No, I'm Iron Man. I am inevitable.
Then I just sit there and I go, one of them disappears. Which one? Probably not the one I want to leave. I love them both. But we'll find out which one it is once they're gone. Knowing my luck, it's Finn. So then, moments before this, me so psyched for this match, mostly because Kyle O'Reilly is my boy, my baby boy. I love Kyle, and I know that Kyle's gonna come out and he's gonna have Roddy and Bobby, my other boys. One of them, my hometown boy. Versus Drake Maverick. I don't really give a shit about him. Glad he's back. That's great. Anyways, so our router, which works so well, it's so fun paying for a service that disconnects itself like 2 times a day. Anyways, so our router gave up, and we missed 90% of this match. We tuned in just in time for Kyle to have a full body submission hold on Drake, and Drake taps out. Sick. Awesome. Glad I missed the whole goddamn thing. And then Roddy. Did I call Roddy Chris earlier?
I have no
clue. I think I just called him. I definitely did. Sorry. So Roddy begins kicking Drake. Bobby joins in. And this is where I started having problems. Because Kyle, who's freshly back and is just in this match, is watching them do this, and he's like basically saying, hey guys, let's maybe not do this. Like, let's not beat up this man. I don't know. I just did for us, so we don't really have to do it a second time over. This seems unnecessary. But they continue to. And then Bobby goes for a chair, and I said, Bobby, I get it, but like, maybe not. As he goes to do that, Killian Dane scares Undisputed Era off. So this is where my problem starts. My problem is that if I see Undisputed Era, any form of strife within it, I'm gonna be a broken woman. If I ever have to see them break up, if I'm still alive to see that happen, which I'm sure I will be, I'm not prepared for it emotionally. If I have to see that happen, I'm gonna have a problem. Anyways, Killian Dane comes out, and then as Drake Maverick goes to thank him for scaring off Undisputed Era, Killian Dane clotheslines Drake Maverick's Adam's apple into his spine.
Well, what if they break up? Bobby Fish joins Breezango, and they become Breezango Fish.
It would be funny for one day, and then I'd cry.
And then Kyle, Roddy, and Adam go to Raw.
Well, Kyle looks like he doesn't want to be around them, because Bobby and Chris...
Wow.
Tell found out his real name once, and now it's like stuck in my head.
Oh, wait. What if we get like kind of a split tag teams? We get Kyle and Adam, because Adam would be the face here after his whole thing with Pat McAfee, versus Roddy and Bobby.
Absolutely no offense whatsoever to you or your brain. Don't ever say something so hurtful to me ever again. I will walk out of this podcast and I will drink myself to sleep on the bed behind me while you continue the podcast.
I think we need more Kyle O'Reilly therapy sessions.
I think like he needs to like sit down with his friends and be like, "Hey guys, so during my 2 weeks as a therapist, I've learned a lot, and I'm kind of concerned by the fact that I seem to enjoy beating people bloody after I've already done the job. So if we could just share the talking stick here, maybe we could figure this out." It's fine. It's fine. It didn't upset me at all to see my 3 boys just not agreeing on what should happen.
Lucha, putting Dream through O'Reilly therapy is just Kyle beating up Dream until... Or it's Kyle sending out Bobby to beat up Dream until he's a bloody pulp. And Austin Theory,
the only
too.
appropriate splucha therapy. The only appropriate... The only appropriate Velveteen Dream therapy is Dexter Lumis coming out and finally speaking in front of somebody and saying, "Why did you reject my goddamn friendship?" And then, cigarette in hand, Bloody Mary in the other hand, submission hold with his legs around Velveteen Dream's waist until further notice.
I want to see
I've
that.
been to therapy once or twice.
I want to see that rivalry happen between Dream and Lumis. It's been
2 months. We're not getting it.
That's the only storyline I want Dream to be a part in, mostly because we get to see Dexter Lumis get some revenge.
I would also say to Triple H, give up your dream, okay? It's never gonna work out. And after that funny joke, we're gonna move on.
Good.
You have something else. Okay. So we have Rhea backstage. Rhea, however you want to pronounce it today. She says that she didn't come to the ring to save Io. She just wants everybody to know that she has Nexties on the title. And now she's going to go help Io so that she can continue to have Nexties on the title. I don't know. She looked hot. That's fine. I'll take it. Since we were born in the same year, I feel okay hitting on her. Because I am not a creep.
What?
Anyways. I have morals? Just kidding. I mean, in that sense, yes. Cheers, brother. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep recently, guys. I'm sorry. We then have Adam Cole backstage. Nothing notable. Maybe Adam Cole was also... I feel like it was a very common theme that they all kind of claimed that they were called the Iron Man at one point. I think Adam Cole actually said this. I don't think Finn did. I don't know what Finn said. But, so Adam Cole says what he says, as they often do during their promos, because NXT isn't very creative with their promos, no offense. A couple of them. They'll do like a couple of creative promos, and then everything else is just like, I'm very talented, and my opponent is not. One thing worth noting was that Adam Cole had a left-right bracelet on, and I think that was very sweet of him. I love promoting our friends' stuff. Like we will be doing on Friday, because I'm actually probably, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, sort of, kind of, maybe, going to have time to pull everything together on Friday now, as my schedule has potentially allowed it. So, Friday, promo show.
If you have something you want promoted, stay tuned to the end of the podcast where we can tell you how you can get your project, your whatever you have, if you want it promoted. Stay tuned to the end of the show and we'll tell you how.
And then we have, finally, last but not least, Um, Io and Rhea, Io and Rhea, versus Raquel and Dakota. Dakota's in first. She kind of does like a little fancy little dance around Rhea for a second. It doesn't last long. She tags Raquel in pretty quickly. Now I've started thinking about how I pronounce it. I can't do it. Rhea headbutts Raquel. Io tags herself in on Rhea, and Rhea's kind of like, okay, sure. Nice little hurricane round into Raquel. And Io kicks Dakota off the apron, and it's just so sweet because like Dakota's in the middle of like one side of the apron, and I think she had just sent Raquel out of the ring. Dakota's just yelling at her, and Io just lifts up a leg and kicks her. I was like, Io. Io double stomps Dakota and gets Rhea back in. Rhea takes Raquel out, drop kicks Dakota, and then kicks Dakota in the damn tits. Can't imagine that feels good at all. She gets Dakota on her shoulders, but Raquel manages to load her out of the ring, and then the two of them pull Rhea out of the ring over the ropes. And Raquel slams her face into the apron. Dakota is then on Rhea's back. It doesn't last very long. She powers out. Gets an arm sub on Rhea. Rhea's in the corner. Raquel is in, and she kind of sends a boot to Raquel's face. Then we got Dakota and Io in together. Io forearms Kai. And then does a very nasty little face buster. She manages to make Kai kick Gonzalez off the apron. And then, yes, at some point, Gonzalez gets in. She sends knees to Gonzalez in the corner, and then 619s her, which is always fun to see, especially because then they're just like, oh, 2 feet to the face of Raquel Gonzalez. And I'm like, you can just call it 619. No one's gonna be annoyed.
It's trademarked, actually.
It's only 619 when Ray does it. Then there's a double boot stomp off the top rope to Dakota from Io. Kai kind of gets her power back a little bit, gets a little momentum. Scorpion kicks Io right between the eyes. And then Io says that's enough of that. Knees Dakota in the face. And then there's a German suplex into a bridge from Io to Kai. Gonzalez manages to break the cover. Io is then clotheslined by Raquel, who is still... I'm always shocked by how large she is, like, height-wise.
Raquel?
I never think that she is... Yeah, I never think that she's that big, and then I see her and I'm like... So then we have a power slam to Io from Gonzalez, and again, because she's so big, it just kind of like looks like she's like taking a basketball and being like... Yeah. She could dribble Io, I think. Io still manages to tag Rhea in, but the ref is distracted, so he doesn't see Rhea get tagged in. As if the ref notices every single tag that happens in every match. Whatever. So Rhea's stuck outside. Mercedes Martinez comes out, pulls Rhea off the corner of the apron, slamming her face into the stairs because I guess NXT is just hell-bent on getting Rhea some reconstructive nose surgery.
They're just like, please, take time off.
They're like, 1, we want you to rest. 2, we want you to have a different nose. And she's like, no. And they're like, all right, sure. And as they say that they're writing and like, pull Rhea into the metal stairs. Pull Rhea into your shin bone.
You know, like the King's Ransom on Matt Riddle? It's the same for that, but on Rhea's nose.
It's the Regal's Ransom.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley's that nose. So then, also, it does worry me sometimes because, like, at least today, Mercedes pulled her off at, like, such an angle that it almost looked like she went like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if we're going to kill someone on TV, I'd rather not be her. Please. So then, Raquel spins and plants Io on the canvas. Rhea still manages to save Io from Dakota Kai kicking her in the face. She pushes her out of the corner and gets Dakota kind of strung up in the ropes. So, but it gets in, and that's cool. And then she's powerbombed by Gonzalez, and they win. But Ray really didn't do too much there. So, that is your NXT for this evening. Cannot believe it took 491 years to get to this point. I have a headache.
So you want to move on to the best of the night?
I would love to. Let me just zoom in on the messages. Yeet! And maybe this tape is slow. I don't really feel like replacing your tape today.
So how's chat doing? How are you guys all doing?
I can see the chat. Oh.
Yep, we're doing Friday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Friday night, Sunday night, Raw, Tuesday. We don't sleep.
We thought we would be doing Wednesday too, because we weren't sure if it was both Tuesday and Wednesday, but thank God it's only Tuesday. We get 2 days in a row.
Basically, my life as of lately has been wake up, work, do makeup, eat food, all at like the same time within the same 2-hour span. Watch wrestling, take notes, podcast, work, maybe fall asleep. And I'm so excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be so nice. I'm not driving anywhere. I'm waking up, staring at my computer, I'm vibing. God bless.
So best of the night?
Yeah. That's why I got the sign up.
So promos. Best promo of the night. So we started off with Scarlett and Karrion relinquishing the title. It was a very well delivered promo. You could tell that Karrion actually cared about this. And it was well shot, well produced too. It just sucks that he has to relinquish the title because of an injury. But then after that, we had an interview with Damian Priest, which was it's leading into something really interesting. And then after that, an interview with Bronson Reed, where we see 3 question marks come in. And then we had an interview with William Regal before his actual announcement. And then we had an interview with Dakota and Raquel, which I don't remember anything of. Then we have the actual announcement by William Regal about the Iron Man match. And then we have the promo with Johnny, then the promo with Finn, and then the interview with Rhea, which I don't think I remember anything of again. And then the promo with Adam Cole. You know, I'm just gonna give it to Scarlett and Karrion relinquishing the title. It wasn't a good promo day. I think that's what I want to go with here. No Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, dude, where is he? I'm still mad that he got his legs separated on the ladder.
He's so mad on Twitter. He just keeps saying, it's not funny, guys. It's still not funny.
God bless. I mean, like, ultimately, emotionally, I am personally partial to the Tim Tam Thatchy Thatch extravaganza promo. However, because it was not Tim Tam Thatchy Thatch unsanctioned murder time, I do have to go with Karrion because Karrion, said more than "I'm gonna kill you" and "this is what you wanted."
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. He said a lot of words tonight, and that was more than we've ever seen from Karrion. So that's like already a character arc in and of itself.
Yeah, I think this was a different side to Karrion, even if it was just a small little promo. It opens up for him to be a complex character rather than just evil monster. Evil monster man.
Oh no, I still think he's an evil monster, and he definitely 100% without saying it said, "I'm going to kill whoever gets this title once I'm ready to fight again."
But he's not just evil monster man.
Yeah, no, now he's evil monster man with a divorced shoulder and a hot wife.
Well, he always had a hot wife. Fall and pray, bald and gay. Aww.
In solidarity if the hair versus hair match happened.
Oh god. Okay, so fighter of the night.
Oh yeah, that one.
Alright, so I already know who my fighter of the night is, but I'll still run through all the fights so everybody's aware. So we got Breezango versus Imperium.
Breezango.
We got to be like the commentators. Sure. Each of us pronounces it differently.
I was pronouncing it Breezango last week, and you were pronouncing it Breezango, so
we switch it up every week.
I guess this is the new bit.
Okay, so my pick here is for this fight is Marcel Bartel. I think he looked amazing fighting, but he also had a lot more character than we've seen of him. Like my favorite moment with him was when he accidentally baseball slid into Fabian. Yeah, Fabian Eichner. It was, he performed really well, had a great overall performance, and I think him having that stone cold character doesn't really help him in this situation, but he did really well despite that.
I think it's also important to mention that, like, I think we overlook the fact that even though, because like they're such non-characters,
yeah,
based on how like straight-laced they are, in a weird way that almost makes them such good characters.
Yeah.
Because then the moment you see like that one crack, you're like, wow, y'all have like personality.
Which is why we love. Which is why I loved this Karrion promo.
I guess I just like watching Scarlet.
Anyway, so after that we had Jake Atlas versus Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, am I gonna go with the boxer or the punching bag? It's like
should just call it a promo, honestly.
Tommaso looked great when he was beating Jake Atlas in the stretcher.
I mean, Tommaso Ciampa just sitting all sweet like on top of the apron, just like and as you saw him loading Jake Atlas away, he was like, actually, more thing.
He was mostly sitting there because he was trying to remember what Randy Orton does in these situations. And then he was like, oh, punt. When in doubt, punt.
He's like, I have learned so much from Randall and Tim Tam. What do now? Like, oh, I just have to make sure that he's dead. Let's go.
But after that, we had Mia Yim versus Shotzi, and I think Mia Yim looked the best here. Shotzi still looked great, but I think Mia Yim just edged over a little bit. Because Shotzi, when she looked great, she was just doing her normal stuff. And her normal stuff is very cool. But Mia Yim, I feel like mixed it up the best, surprised us the most, and just looked great overall. And then we had Swerve versus Santos. I mean, who am I going to pick here besides Swerve? You know, Swerve always looks awesome when he turns up, like he did against Johnny. Santos is a great wrestler and a great character, but I think Swerve was the most impressive. I don't know if it's because my expectations have been much lower for Swerve, but I think he looked awesome in both fighting and with his character. I just think we need to see a little more character. I want him to branch out from the storyline I want him to kind of develop himself more and take him away from Raw Underground, please. Did Swerve bet on himself? Yes, he did, because he's all out of money. So then we had... I'm going to skip over Kyle O'Reilly versus Drake Maverick because we did not watch that match.
It's straight up like the internet was like, oh, what's the one thing that you really like in NXT right now? Oh, Undisputed Era being
Drake
back
Maverick.
together again and Kyle O'Reilly being back in the ring? Okay. Shit. And I was like, oh, all right. Sure. Also, when they cut out in the middle of the Finn Balor promo, which was also something else that I was excited about. It's fine. It's fine. It didn't upset me in any way whatsoever at all. Completely not upset.
So anyway, after that we had Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And I mean, who else am I going to pick besides Io Shirai here? She is awesome. She performed as amazing as normal. And she had to carry herself today because Rhea spent most of the time on the mat or on the outside of the ring. And Io always impresses. I love her so much. She is so talented. Her intro's so cool. I love her walkout. But today's tough. Today is tough. Although I think I want to go with my gut here. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to hope you agree.
Why not?
I'm going to go with Io Shirai.
It's interesting because I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
Even though the last second she just decided, yep, I'm in. Fuck it. Gets in, immediately squashed by Raquel.
But that's because she got in because Io was about to get her literal ass handed to her.
And Rhea decided it's gonna be me.
Dakota took the L on that one. And sometimes being there for your teammate is all about taking one for the team. And listen, if you're in a tag team, you gotta act like a team. I'm changing my vibe, actually. I'm going with Tyler Breeze.
Why?
I thought he did a really good job tonight.
He did, but...
He and Fandango worked really well together, and Tyler Breeze got kicked in the damn face multiple times and was like, I'm fine, and just kept going. I respect that.
Need I remind you that you once said that being a good wrestler has nothing to do with taking a lot of hits?
I beg you to find the exact time I said that in any of these podcasts.
I will look back in all of our videos because I know for a fact you said it at some point. You said selling does not make a good wrestler.
I didn't say... Yeah, okay, so I'm not saying that he sold it. I'm saying that he got kicked in the goddamn face and then he came back out. The reason that I said that was because you're making the argument that was like, oh, well, so-and-so sold that hit really well. It's like, well, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you can sell a hit. I know I'm not going to win with the chat, by the way. I know I'm not going to.
Oh yeah, no, you've already lost.
I am dying on this hill. I am dying on the Tyler Breeze hill.
That worked so well at SummerSlam.
I will come into that goddamn room one more time.
Alright, so let's leave it up to a vote in the chat.
Up to the chat.
It's what we always do.
I think the chat has voted, Mark.
Well, not everyone in the chat has voted. So, between Io Shirai and Tyler Breeze, who does everyone think is tonight's fighter of the night? We got one vote for Io. Another vote for Io from Splucha. Any other voters? Any last second voters that want to come in?
It's fine.
Bold move to move from Rhea Ripley to Tyler Breeze.
Splooch makes a point. Splooch makes a goddamn point.
It's funny because I don't think I was gonna pick that match for tonight's fight of the night.
Wow. Typical.
Okay, so it looks like Io Shirai wins. Thank you for your votes, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Much appreciated. Io Shirai is our fighter of the night.
And remember what y'all are saying right now when we get into match of the night. I just want to say that right now.
All right, so fight of the night. So we started with Breezango versus Imperium. It was a very good match. I will not deny it was an excellent match that had no distractions, no outside influence. It was very well done. That's all I can really say. I think giving Breezango the title was pretty unexpected. I thought Imperium would win here. But no, it was excellent. Both Breeze and Fandango were great. Eichner and Bartel were both great. I want to see more. I want to see Fandango doing as much as he used to. I feel like he's kind of toned down his fighting. And Breeze has never been one who's super impressive. I think he can kind of amp it up a little bit. We saw a lot from Eichner and Bartel, but not as much as we normally do with Breezango. And then we move into Tommaso Ciampa versus a punching bag, wearing a nice jacket. The ending was the best part, with Ciampa just sitting on the ring, swinging his legs back and forth. That was great.
Lad.
Then Mia versus Shotzi. I think this match was great. I thought this match was awesome. I think both wrestlers kind of had their bad moments. But overall, I think the match was pretty good. Definitely could have used a little bit more. And the fact that it started with Shotzi interjecting the fight and running over Robert Stone's legs again. And in fact, he tweeted in all caps, "I got run over by a tank for a third time."
I got my ass kicked on NXT.
God. No, it's...
I believe Oni Boni Bananagrams is the one that's going to kill you.
No, it's "I got my ass kicked on USA Network." Which I think is funnier.
I'm in love with him.
But yeah, I think this match just needed a little bit more in terms of fighting. It's hard to point out what exactly, but I think it just missed a little bit of flair. And then after that, we had Swerve versus Santos, which I think this match was a perfect example of using a distraction in the right way, where it's seen as a hurdle for a wrestler, but they choose to keep fighting through it. The only reason I don't want to pick this fight is because the ending is really stupid. Like, why have a match? Or why have a whole match and then just have a mask just laying on the floor with something sharp in it that wins the fight for him? Like, yes, I get it, he's a heel.
Especially when, like... I was just gonna say, especially when, like, some people, us specifically, didn't even notice that there was something in the mask. It just felt like he put the mask on and was like, "Aha, I have powers," or something like that.
But it is kind of poetic that he's been so against wearing masks and being not luchadors, and then a mask saves him. But I don't know. The ending was kind of... It was a reach. That's why I'm inclined to vote against it. And then after that, we had a match we did not see. And then we had Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, which was a really good match. Had interference from Mercedes. This match pretty much went exactly where I expected it to go. I completely expected Dakota and Raquel to win. I thought it was very funny when Rhea immediately went in and just got her ass handed to her by Raquel. I think Rio looked really bad in this match. Mostly because it was just her getting her ass beat. When we know she's capable of a lot of great things. Dakota looked cowardly through the whole thing. This was mainly the Raquel Io fight. And I can't stand the random appearances by Mercedes, which basically just sway a fight one way or the other. So I'm gonna vote against that. I'm voting against Swerve and Santos purely because of the ending. So my pick is gonna be Breezango versus Imperium. Just kidding. It's Tommaso Ciampa versus the Punching Bag. No, it's Tommaso Ciampa versus the Stretcher.
Not Tommaso Ciampa versus Hot Ref.
No, because Hot Ref won
his
that.
tan finally. Looks like a person again.
Splooch is right. It was a good squash. Like, it was a good enhancement talent fight, but it wouldn't do justice to any other fight if I gave it that. If I gave it to that to a
Barely
squash.
did justice to Tommaso.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just I guess like it would have been a much cooler fight in a sense, like in a weird way. I guess like I guess like the fact that it was Tommaso made it cool. But also because of all of the stuff that happened with Last Takeover in Your House and Tommaso and like his tweet or Instagram post or whatever it was, be like, I feel underutilized by NXT, blah 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 blah, cry cry cry, whine whine whine, and then to come back and be used against enhancement talent just kind of feels like they were like, okay, we're gonna underutilize you more though. So
even if it was supposed to be a squash, you could put him against like Oni Lorcan or Danny Burch, somebody more on his weight class.
Yeah.
But so you're going with Breezango versus Imperium?
Absolutely. Yes.
Also,
sorry, my migraine medicine is like paralyzing me from like the chest down right now, so I'm just like.
Also, this is Breezango's first title in NXT. And Tyler Breeze is now a double title holder with a left right title.
Maybe, well, because Cesaro has one and he has one, so maybe if Adam won the NXT Championship back, it would be all three of them.
And then Xavier Woods just sits there like, "Wow, guys, wow."
He's like, I wasn't even told that that Talking Smack was scheduled for me. They didn't even let me know. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, no, I love this match. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was a fun match to watch. I thought it was a great way to start the episode. I really enjoyed it. I'm really happy that we got to see them getting the title. Especially because, like, they've kind of, you know, when they came back, they were like, oh, well, we had to be, like, a little more serious. Like, we kind of had to tone our things down. We realized that we were focusing too much on, like, character and not enough on like the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
For them to come back from that to still kind of doing goofy stuff, but now you can kind of tell that they've like they're still goofy as shit. But, like they've kind of settled down again.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been doing like mocking intros and stuff recently. They've just kind of been like sticking to their normal walkout song. So I think it kind of shows that they're like, we want this, and we're not gonna just like take no for an answer. So I really liked it. I really liked tonight's match. I will agree with you.
So to run it back, our promo of the night, Karrion relinquishes the title. Our fighter of the night, Io Shirai, and our fight of the night, Breezango versus Imperium. And real quick announcement before we close out regarding our promo show, which will be happening this coming Friday.
Take it away. You do it this week.
If you have something you want promoted, whether it be a podcast of your own, a show you're working on, or a blog you have, anything at all, or a nice little paper you want everyone to check out.
Literally, if you're like, I made this one picture of the cat that I live with, we'll promote it. Just let us know where to find it, and we'll tell people. It doesn't matter.
Go to DM us on Twitter at the Pinfall Cast. Remove the pod, that's our Twitter, and DM us where we can find your project or what you want promoted, and basically what it is, a little description, and where to find it.
Yeah, basically, if you give us a certain amount of information, we'll use it. I should have time Friday afternoon now. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Now that I've talked about it, probably not. But I am going to take the list of promos that I've already kind of decided I wanted to do. And whatever anyone sends us, I'm going to take the information you give us. If I can find a little more information, like if you're like, oh, I've got this podcast and I want to promote it or something like that, I'll be like, okay, they post on these days or something like that, or find like a most recent video or something. So send us whatever information you want included. If you don't, like, just they're like, hey, promote this, and that's all, I'll try to figure it out. I'm anal like that.
But please, just make it easy on us. Give us a nice little description, what you want us to say, and where to find it. So
yeah, we want to promote people.
Want to close us out?
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, my migraine medicine basically just makes it like so I'm like just dead from like here down. I'm like trying to move my body. Anyways, probably like try to wake my muscles back up. Oh, it's Wednesday. That's crazy. I didn't realize that was Wednesday. We will be back Friday for SmackDown in the Thunderdome. It'll be fun. It will not only be our SmackDown episode, it will also be our Payback predictions episode. It will also be our promo show. I'm going to figure out how I want to do the promo show. I don't really know if I want to intersperse it or if I want to just do them all at the end. There'll be a Mark and I conversation. But yeah, so we're going to have a lot going on Friday. It's going to probably be a later podcast. And then after Friday, take a nap on Saturday, take a little relaxer, just chill out. And then on Sunday, the day of our Lord, we will be back for Payback. God only knows what matches are happening there. I'm pretty sure the WWE doesn't know.
So, if you enjoyed the podcast, please hit that follow button below, and you'll be notified whenever we go live. Hit that little bell, too, so you're really notified, and won't just see us on your following page.
We'll stick my head through your window, and I'll be like, the podcast is on. That's what happens when you click the second bell.
And then follow us on Twitter, too, at the Pinfall Cast, like I already said. And then follow our personal Twitters as well. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine 23. If you missed part of this podcast or want to check out previous ones, this podcast and all the past ones are up on YouTube. If you look up the Pinfall Podcast on YouTube. And I have a Twitch of my own, twitch.tv/Mark Cameron, where we're working on an awesome project. It's not just me, it's also Liz. We're working on an awesome combination of wrestling and Pokemon. It's awesome. We're in the middle of a championship tournament right now, so definitely check that out. I'll be going live. I go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the mornings. And then lastly, we make short films. Check out Verismo Productions on YouTube. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Friday for SmackDown in the Thunderdome.
And Payback predictions and promos.
Yes.
So many things.
So many things. We gotta rush through that show.
Not gonna work.
Bye.
We'll be here until Sunday.
Bye.